game. Why is that? Well, because he's always showing for it, and he'll drop back deep. He'll go to the centre circle to pick up the ball. Now, he's clearly got a great engine on him, but it's not just that, it's his desire to get involved. Willian, another person who's inside right, inside left, run the full length of the field time and time again just to be involved. And he might not have the quality of Martial on the ball, but he wants to be involved. Bernard's having a better game today. Good cutback, but just a cutback behind Calvert-Lewin then from Sigurdsson, and the ball will break kindly for Pogba. Steps over the ball. He has got Sigurdsson for company there, who puts him under pressure. Ball into the middle of the park, where Everton have done fairly well today. Schneidlin holds them up. I think that for Manchester United, Matic, a lucky lad that he didn't get the hook at half time, but I guess then as thought Lukaku was offside as they drilled the ball to him, which he didn't control. I guess that Solskjaer didn't want to make 3 changes at once and rob himself of the chance of an injury sub later,
Yeah, it makes sense. I think it's all well and good stamping your mark and making these changes at half time, but you want to keep something in reserve. We've seen Richarlison pick up an injury in this game. We've seen Jones already go down with an injury that probably played a part in why he was taken off. Fred obviously was more tactical, but yeah, you need something there for a little bit later on. If United do manage to get one back, then maybe he looks towards a Lingard. I think he would probably go for him over Alexis Sanchez, down to form this season and form overall since Sanchez joined United. Lingard will be the one I'll be looking to come and have an impact. Yeah,
I think so. Weirdly enough, Jose liked that. He liked the Rashford Lingard thing.
Yeah.
And then he tried it, at big occasions, and they just flopped. And so he had to keep going back to drawing board because, the players that they've got just couldn't get it done. Martial, a decent ball through, but Lukaku couldn't take it in his stride there. Actually, Walcott gets a little head, and then it's held up by Gylfi Sigurdsson. He promotes the ball down the line. It's about as well as he could do, and Walcott very nearly gets on the end of that ahead of Lindelof coming across. So Everton 2, Manchester United 0. I think it would be fair to say Manchester United are doing a little bit better this second half.
Yeah, they've had more of a say in the game, haven't they, at this point in the first half? They've not really been out of their own half. Everton were peppering the goal with crosses and set pieces. I think Richarlison had already had his shot saved and were edging towards the first goal, so it's definitely better from United, but you do have to question whether that's down to the Red Devils or Everton now with a cushion thinking, let's slow it down a bit more. We don't have to be as aggressive in our approach. We can be more patient, try to pick them off, and that appears to be what they're doing now as they work the ball around.
Yeah, Ashley Young has certainly helped their shape at the back. There's no easy route down the left-hand side now for Digne, but the ball breaks the edge of the air. Chance Calvert-Lewin kind of get the ball out of his feet, lays it back for Sigurdsson, cuts onto his left, has a strike that's blocked away by Smalling. Ball will break out and for a corner kick.
Yeah, a couple of chances there to get a shot away. I think Calvert-Lewin didn't quite feel he had enough of an angle as he came back onto his right foot, teed up Sigurdsson, who sort of toyed with it before going across onto his left foot, and it was these set pieces first half that were United's main issue. Most times it was falling down in the box and it was only inches away from someone getting a toe end on it, so we'll see how they deal with it this time around.
Yeah, so Sigurdsson will deliver an in-swinger from the left-hand side, right boot, fierce in-swinger, and it comes. It's a good ball. Good punch as well by the keeper, De Gea. Ball breaks back and a shot. Oh! Drilled into the back of the net by Digne. What a strike.
Yeah, set pieces again. He puts it into a dangerous area. De Gea comes and deals with it, but then he's out off his goal line, not set. And Digne hits it sweetly on the left foot volley into that bottom left corner. I'd like to see it from the reverse angle just to see if there was anyone that could potentially have got in the way of that one. It seemed to travel really true off the Frenchman's boot. I mean, they crowded the 6-yard box there, Everton. Everyone was back there right on the toes of David De Gea. He surely can't see that ball. I mean, he barely moves De Gea. It comes through a big crowd of pink and blue shirts on its way back towards goal.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a perfect pick out into the bottom corner. Delighted with that one, and Everton flying 3-0 up now.
It's Goodison. It's Everton 3, Manchester United 0. And what a peach of a goal from Digne. the full-back, left-back. It's a corner kick, and De Gea punch. It gets good distance as well. Now that ball drops perfectly on the half volley, and he swings through it. It's a sweet, sweet strike, and it drills into the back of the net. De Gea, no chance of saving that, and the Toffees have a 3-goal cushion now.
Pogba swings one into the box for United, but Everton head away and defend well, as they have done all game. Not really spoken about Keane or Zuma too much today, because they haven't been called into action on a regular basis. Of course, we mentioned the fullbacks, more in an attacking sense than anything else. Nice turn on the ball there from Diego Dallo, and Pogba did have a chance to play through Lukaku, was reluctant to do it. Chance then disappeared, and he has to switch the play across to Ashley Young on the right. Bernardo's dropped in as cover. I wonder at what point Marco Silva maybe starts to think, OK, we're in control of this match, we've got a good cushioning, let's try and protect what we've got. I suppose United aren't really coming forward with any great threat or presence at the moment, so there isn't much urgency for the manager to think like that, but there's going to come a point surely where he has to freshen things up, maybe in midfield, and maybe a Davis to come on and provide a bit of solidity. But here come Everton actually looking for a fourth right now. Calvert-Lewin into the box, challenge is good from Young, and that'll be a corner.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I understand what you're saying, but I'm thinking he just think, right, just carry on, you know. His plays at the minute have found an answer. Smalling just fell away from Calvert-Lewin there, and it's great from Young that he's actually done well since he's come on, but what can you do? They've scored some pretty good goals today. I mean, the thing, the Digne goal, I can't blame De Gea. He's come out, punched it quite far. The fact that none of his players have got blocking from that point, you know, can't they read the play and get there?
Yeah,
I don't know about that, but anyway, another corner kick for Everton. Another opportunity. Sigurdsson puts the ball in near post, and that's punched out. I mean, that ball very nearly in the back of the net. As Gana Gay finds a good ball into the box. Last ditch from Smalling, gets there ahead of Calvert-Lewin. You know, he's close to that ball being behind the line then when De Gea saves it, but we'll take a look. Tell us what you see, Bobby.
Yeah, it's really well whipped, isn't it? It's cleared by the leg of De Gea, who was actually being held by Bernard. I'd wonder if we had VAR, whether they would have ruled that one out and said it was unfair from Bernard on De Gea. But I mean, it's clearly something Everton have worked on. They've crowded that 6-yard box as we saw last time and put pressure on De Gea, who came out. Having seen him come out to punch one, Sigurdsson's now thought, well, you know what, I'll put one in at the near post. If he's going out, then I'll try and catch him by surprise. And you've got someone of the quality of Sigurdsson. He can off the cuff just do something like that, and would have been a perfect way to crown off what's been a fantastic performance by Everton.
I don't think I've ever seen a goal from a corner kick, you know. This back in the day, you'd look at the stats. I think Morten Gamps Pedersen has scored twice from a corner,
right?
So obviously he means it.
Yeah.
But like you say, he's got the quality.
Yeah.
De Gea was messing about. What's in front of him, you know, jostling, and then he realised, hang on, that's a shot.
Well, his starting position as well, I've never really taken any notice of it, and I'll have a look at it on the next corner, but he's almost stood on his far post as if he's thinking, I can stand here, I can assess the pitch, and I can move forward. But when he whips it low and quickly like that, he's got a lot of legwork then to get to the near post.
He has, but he got there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
You know, in fairness to him, you know, he's given himself a lot to do, but he did it. So maybe that's the way forward, but yeah, just looked a little bit iffy there. So they try and put Walcott in, but nothing doing this time. As the clock rolls to the hour mark, Everton 3, Manchester United 0. I saw a stat somewhere that when Everton have gone 2-0 up, they've won 53 out of 55 games, you know, and drawn the other 2. So at 3-0 up, beyond the realms of possibility then.
Who knows?
That Manchester United, you know, grab a goal. But they've done a lot of good work today. You know, it's a 4th goal of the campaign for Lucas Digne. That's not bad for a full-back, is it? But, yeah, I mean, they've hit some lovely strikes today. And sometimes the opposition, well, you know, what can you do about that?
Yeah, you can't really account for those types of efforts, can you, when it is hit well? But I think 2 of the goals have come from Everton set pieces. One of them has come from a United set piece today, counter-attack and dance the other end of the field. And it just looks like United haven't got enough organisation in those situations. No one commanding, no one talking, and Everton have made full use of those areas.
Yeah, I think it's difficult, isn't it? Because what United needed when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got there was to be freed up. You know, they were like overloaded with messages after the Dutchman, and then Jose wanting this, that, and the other. You know, they sort of, you know, got bunched in a bit, and I think Solskjaer just reminded them that playing football can be fun. But after a while, you know, when you're working on one or two fronts, you've got to change things, change systems, that can all get lost, and it ended up being just an unholy mess. And unfortunately, that's what it is today. You know, there's no shape to them, there's no great play about them. I think they're a little bit better at the back than they were, and that's about it. And there's still no great goal forward. You know, we saw they were starting from way too deep in the first half. Here's a bit better because you've just got the two centre backs, and then, you know, whoever wants to come back and help them out. At the minute, I'm not sure if that was Matic dropping back. Long ball forward here for Manchester United, but it's picked off by Zuma before it reaches Lukaku, and he clears his lines.
Yeah, just going back to what you were saying there, it's one of the reasons I had reservations about Solskjaer in the first month or so when he was in charge, because they were winning matches, but they were conceding at least a goal in every game, and they were outscoring opposition, which is great, but you cannot do that every single week when you have injuries and other restrictions on you. You then need to know that you can rely on that defence to squeeze through games. You win titles, you win silverware by edging matches 1-0 at times. Yes, you'll have some very good days, but you also have the tough ones, and at the moment in this tough run, we're really seeing that frailty at the back for United be exposed. You can't keep opposition out, they're going to run riot, and that's exactly what Everton have done today.
Yeah, I think you know, if you're United and you can't settle on a first team, or you're playing on a lot of fronts, then you have to be coherent. Here come Everton now. Walcott into the box, an opportunity, and he finds the back of the net, rolls it in. De Gea beaten. I mean, he had a man on his inside there, so De Gea, I think, he's got no chance. Not that he made a great attempt either. 4-0, wowee.
What a way this is to prepare for a Manchester derby, eh? With City looking to try and take advantage in the title race. To lose 4-0 at Everton is certainly not what Solskjaer would have wanted today, and those Everton fans can't quite believe what they're seeing. I mean, this goal was just so simple. When it comes down that left-hand side, it starts from a throw-in by Everton's corner flag. Digne launched it down the line. One flick on, two flick-ons, down that left flank, round the back. United's defence is nowhere to be seen. Walcott, fresh off the bench, obviously bursts away, injection of pace, and then composure in the box. One thing we've been critical of him in the past was not putting away his chances when they've come. This one, though, he couldn't mess up. De Gea comes out. There's plenty of goal to aim at. Walcott slides home. Everton 4-0 up with just over an hour played at Goodison Park.
Was that a Sigurdsson ball to him?
I think it was.
Not sure, but it was a pretty good one anyway. At Goodison, it's now 4-0 to Everton. Everton 4, Manchester United 0. A simple goal, really. Little touch on at about halfway from Sigurdsson into the path of substitute Theo Walcott, who'd come on for the injured Richarlison in that inside left slot. You're not really going to catch him, are you? And burst into the box. De Gea, well, was wondering whether he was going to put the ball into Calvert-Lewin for a tap-in, and clearly, you know, that allowed Walcott just to slip the ball past him for a very easy goal indeed. Wow, Everton 4, Man United 0.
Incredible match this, and I wonder what the reaction is going to be from those Manchester United fans. I'm sure they would have brushed off the fact that they've gone out of the Champions League. As John said before, anyone can lose to Barcelona, there's no shame in that, but to then come back and Solskjaer demanding a response, this certainly isn't the performance that was expected of the Red Devils today. It might just take all momentum away, if they had any left, of pushing on towards the top four this season. They were in 6th place when Solskjaer took over. They're in 6th place at the moment, United, and that just suggests that there hasn't been enough of an improvement. First goal for Theo Walcott in 2019. He's not really been amongst them of late, just his second goal in his last 28 appearances as well, so I suppose that'll be a relief for him to have finally got himself on the score sheet again. As we said before, Silva appears to have settled on a front four of Calvert-Lewin, Sigurdsson, Bernard and Richarlison, so Walcott has to be scoring goals off the bench, otherwise he's never going to get back in.
That's right. Again, he's one of those sort of protected by the fact that you're inside right or left. If you put enough hard work in, then you sort of, oh, you're a winger as well. You're protecting your fullback. You're doing a job for the team. Yeah, getting back to the formation thing again, that was the 6th Everton shot on target, not one from Manchester United today. I think sometimes teams have to embrace different formations and get with it, be organised within that and work hard in training to do that. But it's such an embarrassment of riches at Manchester United. They've never settled on teams to play certain formations. It's just like, oh, we're playing 3 at the back today, or we're flat back 4 today. Sprinkle the players at it and hope for the best. It can all go wrong, even for teams who know their best formation. I mean, Wolves 3 at the back was probably 2 defenders too many yesterday when they needed to go and attack Brighton, and and in the end their own rigidity was the problem against them and stopped them from going. As Martial now is having a bit of a run, he's at his 12th touch. Anyway, he wriggles past 1 or 2. Coleman's holding him back in the box. I mean, it should be a free kick before he reaches the box. He's holding on to them then inside the box, Seamus. I'd give a free kick. He held on too long. McTominay tells Tierney what he thinks of him and he gets a yellow card. Yeah. I think McTominay's got a point.
Yeah, he's put his hand on the referee's shoulder, and I think that's what he's taken exception to. He does, you're right, he has a tug at the shirt. Coleman then stopped when the referee said no free kick, and he's saying, well, if it's not a free kick, he's dived then. He has dived eventually. I'm not saying that there wasn't contact initially, but then the move has carried on, and Martial thinks, I'm going to jump here, I'm going to throw myself to the floor, and he's surely got to give me something. I don't think it should be a card for Martial for going down in the end.
I think what VAR would have done then, he said free kick outside the area. Yeah. He clearly had a great big, I like Seamus, and all he's doing is stopping him, great big handful of his shirt, and then everything afterwards he's fouling, But the first offence really, a great big pullback with a handful of shirt. It wasn't subtle. I don't think the referee saw it, and he's not going to see everything, but it's frustrating for Manchester United. Anyway, we're 3/4 of the way through the game. Everton 4, Manchester United 0. It's going to be Bobby now to take us through to full time.
Yeah, cheers, John. Plenty of goals already. We might still have a few more to come before we reach that full time whistle. Everton are on the front foot at present. It's going to be Digne to slowly make his way down that left hand side to a very warm reception from those Everton fans just in behind. Looks against the long throw this time. It's short into Bernard, and Digne's got all the time in the world to cross. Rolls it back to Bernard instead though. Didn't see enough movement in the middle. Everton recycle it by coming centrally. Drissagana gave with a poor ball. That's going to be allowed to run behind for the goal kick. And Digne very much putting himself in the frame to be man of the match. He was a fantastic signing for Everton last summer. Brought in from Barcelona on a permanent deal. Having been at Roma previously, he's got very much a good reputation. I think it was bold from Silva as well, because at some point Leighton Baines had to be phased out. They find the right man to do it. He's got the similar energy, and he's sort of in the same mould as Baines. Takes set pieces, great left foot on him, and has just made that position his own now.
Yep, as Pogba caught there by Schneidlin, left one on him. Yeah, Digne looks good, doesn't he? I think he is. Like you said, Baines had to be phased out at some point, although he'd been brilliant. I thought at one point Oviedo was going to be the man to step up and take that left back slot, and then he unfortunately got an injury when he was showing brilliant form. Saw Oviedo recently, Sunderland I think it was.
Yeah.
Here a chance for Manchester United now.
Yeah, chance for Martial, who's in the box and gets his shot away. It's wide, it might have deflected. Potentially a corner. No, by the way he's walking away, I think it is just going to be a goal kick. Lovely flick through though by Pogba. Martial drives infield inside the box and just tries to get himself enough of an angle to go out. Doesn't wrap his foot around that one, hits it very true, well wide of the upright.
Yeah, when you're a striker, it's alright not looking up, if you're going to have your striker goal, but you've got to know where the goal is. And there he's just, alright, I'm going to, latch onto this. But like I said, didn't bend the boot round the ball, which makes you think he didn't quite know where the goal was. That happens when you're out of form a little bit, doesn't it? Those things don't hit the back of the net. But again, it's not anything to be impressed about. Martial's a striker. He was in the box and he missed the target.
Long ball forward from Everton. Doesn't quite stick to Calvert-Lewin this time, so it'll be a goal kick for United. Wondering if Solskjaer is considering another change at this point. I feel it's probably going to matter little in the grand scheme of things, but might be an opportunity for someone just to get out there and try to at least slow the damage down.
Right, we're 71 minutes in, and penny should drop to me that they haven't had a shot on target, and they still haven't had a shot on target as Rashford lashes one over from range. 71 minutes, it's scandalous for this team. When you look at the players in it, I mean, I'm saying it's quite a weak United 11, but it's still a sprinkling of internationals in there. Let's have a bit of a recap what we've seen. At Goodison, still Everton 4, Manchester United 0. No great reaction from the Red Devils. They're dead in the water today. They did have something of a penalty shout. I felt that Martial was being pulled back just outside the area by Seamus Coleman, and that carried on into the box. The referee gave nothing, and McTominay was disgusted. Told Tierney what he thought of him and got a yellow card for that. We've seen Martial shoot wide from inside the box. No plaudits for that. And then Rashford blam one over the top from range. They still haven't managed a shot on target, and they're still 4 goals adrift.
It's not been United's day. It's very safe to say, as Young looks to get play restarted with a throw-in. He's got the captain's armband on, assumed that role when he was brought on as a half-time sub. Sends it down the line, it's over the head of Lukaku. Everton can't quite bring it down cleanly, and Matic has actually nicked in there, but his pass forward towards Rashford is too heavy. That's good work from Jordan Pickford, who comes out to claim at the feet of his international teammate. Michael Keane, the other England man, was there as well, just providing an obstacle for Rashford, making it a little bit easier for his goalkeeper to come and deal with the situation. They've been calm at the back today, Everton. As we said before, they haven't had much to deal with, but most situations when United have attempted to come forward, they've just battered them away, really. Only moment of concern, I think, would have been that Martial break around about 5-10 minutes ago, when Seamus Coleman was a little bit rash and desperate. Down the right hand side here with Walcott, just has the ball stolen off his toes by Diogo Dalot, and Pogba flicks it forward to Lukaku. Can't turn away there from Michael Keane. Good strong defending, actually comes back into his own half to get away from the former Everton man. He's not had a good return to Goodison Park this afternoon. Thought that he could be on his way out of United in the summer as well. Surprised maybe that he was included today, maybe just the fact that he's back at his old club. One for Walcott here, but doesn't meet it cleanly.
I tell you what, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing watching Manchester United. Those players don't seem to care about the shirt today. I just watched them walking around. Everton firing forward there. Idrissa Gana Gueye setting the pace, right, driving the team forward. Everybody wants it at the edge of the box. Man United just stood off. Young has tried since he's come on. I think he's a captain, former captain of the team. He cares. But there's lots of these who just don't seem bothered at all. I don't know what it is about Pogba today, but he's not really lifting a leg. They've been poor all over today, and it's a team thing as well. The collective have failed. If they've got try-harders in this team, then they should be dragging the others up, but that's not really happening, is it? Ball into Lukaku in the box, maybe can fashion something now. Back to goal, he's strong, but eventually pocket picked again. Brilliant by Gueye. Ball breaks back for Manchester United. Into the box they go, and it's another shot wide of the mark.
Yeah, Matic it was this time, who eventually arrived on the edge of the box, but was just unable to angle that one on target. Good strength from Lukaku initially in the box, but was just too many blue shirts there eventually. Just been looking back to see how long we have to go for the last time Everton managed to pick up a result like this against Manchester United. Well, they did beat United 5-0 back in 1984 at Goodison Park.
Wow.
They've scored 4 against them a few times, but once in a 4-4 draw.
Who was in that Everton team then?
Let's see if we can get any stats from it being that far back. I don't know if we're going to have much from it. We are getting a substitution though, just as we have a break in play. Idrissa Gana Gueye is off and James McCarthy on. Gueye, of course, picking up a yellow card and has worked hard today in that midfield.
Yeah, that's right. Graham Sharp there. No stranger to goals for the Toffees. 4 trophies when they were brilliant in the 80s. Stewart's sat next to him. Graham Stewart, I think it is. Terrific player on his day. They used to be They were a top team in the 80s, weren't they, and eclipsed their cross-city rivals at that point. We're going to see Rashford come off now. But anyway, maybe a bold new dawn. Anders Pereira on for Marcus Rashford. A bold new dawn for Goodison and the Toffees. I'm not a big fan of Marcus Silva. I think he's overplayed how good he is. And I hope they don't get too carried away with this today, because I really believe it's a great time to play Manchester United right now. But Manchester United have got a whole heap of sorting out to do. You know, nowadays you get player power, don't you, and all that. They're getting fantastic money, this, that and the other. But nobody's bigger, no player's bigger than Manchester United, are they? And if they think they can turn up and not bother, you know, those guys need drumming out. They want somebody who's going to bleed for that shirt, and this lot are not. You know, disgraceful, really. But it's the mess that Solskjaer's got to sort out.
Just seeing Calvert-Lewin limping his way up the field. I'm wondering if he might be withdrawn before long. They have got Ademola Lookman on the bench today, and he's a player that hasn't really been given many opportunities under Marco Silva. Performed really well in that loan spell in Germany with RB Leipzig, but then has struggled to force his way into the plans back on Merseyside. They've got St Tosun as well. He might be one to fit the bill a little bit more as a central striker. United are currently on the attack. Cross comes in. There was only Michael Keane back there to defend, but he gets away with the header, flicks it behind for a corner. Make sure that there's going to be no further danger to come immediately. Of course, the set piece to follow, which Pereira is going to go across to take. It'll be an in-swinger from the young midfielder. Signal goes up and it's whipped to the near post. Brave diving header away from an Everton man. Claimed by Diogo Dalot. It was a good ball towards Lukaku. The unfortunate thing was Lukaku was about 5 yards offside, and that means he makes no attempt to go and challenge for it. It's flicked away by Everton. Might have come off a United man last as this one's gone into touch, so I think it could be an Everton throw. It is.
Right, then I found that 5-0. And although I can't find all the details of it, some 40,000 were packed in.
Wow.
And Adrian Heath, Graham Sharp, Kevin Sheedy got 2, Gary Stevens got the other. They were a strong team at that point, really strong. I think later that season they were going to get beaten by Manchester United in an FA Cup final at Wembley. So that was the year after. But in 1984, they thumped them 5-0.
Could be on course for a repeat today. Still 12 minutes left to go. Everton are breaking forward. What a run this is from Bernard. He's burst past 2, tries to find Walcott. In fact, sorry, it was Calvert-Lewin. Ball just got caught under his feet and the move breaks down as they approach the final third. And this run for Everton at the moment on home soil has been fantastic. As we said before, this is the fifth game in a row that they've played at a side from the top 6. And they've only lost once now in that run. They've kept 4 clean sheets. They drew 0-0 with Liverpool. They beat Arsenal. They beat Chelsea. And I think we can safely say that they're going to beat Manchester United today. The only side that they've lost to in that run is Manchester City. So heads held high very much for Everton at the moment. I'm sure those season tickets will be renewed after today's game, with fans thinking, if we can perform like this against big teams at Goodison Park, I want to be back and watching it next season.
They've never been short, have they? I mean, you know, nearly all the time they pack their stadium out, don't they? I mean, just such a well-supported club, you know. And like I said, with the proud history as well. I'm just looking back at that 84 season, but Bracewell, Mountfield in that team, Andy Gray and Sharp up top. You know, they were so strong, scored a rake of goals. Players like Sheedy and Inchy Heath coming off the bench and stuff like that. They were a super team at that point. You know, it seems a long time ago, and before the days when it wasn't just all like the home nations and all that. You know, very rare. Would you see a sort of a foreign player, if you like? Although I think that obviously has improved the standard of the game in the Premier League without a doubt.
United launching one up into the sky, falls back to Everton, and again they just resume a bit of control. Schneidling got a touch there. We barely mentioned him today actually in that midfield. Coming today for Andre Gomez, is out with that suspension. Another chance for Everton, shot from Coleman on his left foot straight at David De Gea. That one been on his right. Might have been able to pick out a corner, but I think he was focused on just trying to hit the target. Nice little chest and comes down on the left foot. Hit with a bit of power, but De Gea will always fancy himself near post.
Yeah, I think that's the case, but again, it was too easy. Nobody's killing himself to block these shots today for Manchester United, are they? Lackadaisical performance. It can't all be about, though. Look at us, we spin the ball around when we're attacking, as Pogba's robbed of it. Again, is there any desire for those players to get back and make a mess of possession there? And it's Young who's drifting back, who picks it up. Just a lack of desire, isn't there, and professionalism. It's like this team wants to be beaten 5-0. Digne now is down and injured. But, the ball breaks forward and out comes Pickford. And he will wait for a bit of treatment for his teammate.
Yeah, he's maybe picked up a bit of an injury himself, actually. Looks as though he's just trying to feel one out on the leg. I'm assuming players stopped here. The ball hasn't actually been put into touch. We'll have a look at the instant. Digne went in for a challenge on Pogba. There's no foul there from Pogba. I don't know if he maybe just caught the studs on top of the boot as Pogba was trying to step away.
Did he kick the studs? I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's back of the heel. Pogba, I think, just comes down on the toe end of Digne. So it's going to be a sore one. Certainly wasn't any intent there. Pogba was looking in the other direction. Oh, it's in fact going to be more than a sore one. That's the end of the game for Digne. Maybe he's broken something.
Do you think metatarsal?
Could be.
Yeah, I mean, you've got so many small bones in your foot, don't you? I always say this, but modern boots so flimsy on the top, like I could toe end the ball further than I could side foot it when I had my boots. But anyway, looks like Jagielka's he getting ready, and there's another sub about to come on.
Well, they've made two. I think Lookman was going to come on, and this injury now means that Jagielka's going to have to come on in his place. So that's very harsh on Lookman. As I said before, he's not really had much of a chance this season, although Lookman still seems to be... No, he's putting a training shirt back on, I think, isn't he? The shin pads are going in for Jagielka, but we've had McCarthy on for Gay and Walcott on for Richarlison. But Digne is walking off the field now and consoled by teammate Morgan Schneidlin. Looks as though that gets a warm reception and might well end up with a Man of the Match award as well for his performance today. Down that left hand side he's worked tirelessly, rightly so, gets Hero's reception off the field.
Well, he scored a beaut, didn't he? And he played his part in the first goal, but let's face it, he had the freedom of Goodison today, didn't he?
Yeah.
Particularly that first half. But there's one thing having that and one thing making him pay for it. You think I'm an easy ball, do you? Well, we'll give it to Digne. We don't have to defend him, he's not going to do anything. Well, he made them pay today. And so it is Phil Jagielka, the old warhorse who comes on. Back in the day for the Blades, he could play midfield, couldn't he? But he's long past that now. Just about make one in at the back, and Coleman hands him the armband. So there we go. Skipper in the side now, Phil Jagielka, and been a great servant to Everton.
Played in net one time as well, didn't he? I think for Sheffield United when they were reduced to 10 men. He has covered plenty of positions. I think it's his final season at Everton as well. Sure, his contract is up, and play that hasn't featured regularly. It seemed strange for them to keep him on any longer. But
I think they'd just give him a rolling 1 year. I mean, he just steps in and there's no problem. I don't detect a huge amount of weakness. I don't think you'd want to go to war with him and start your campaign or anything like it, but I think he just plugs in there with no nonsense and always seems to do a decent job, so I'd just give him a rolling 1 year. I always think for those older guys as well, bags of experience, but you don't ever see him getting beaten for pace too often, do you, or anything like that. He doesn't expose himself.
United on the front foot at the moment with Dalot, ball to the far post, flicked away by Bernard, I think it is, at the back stick. No, Coleman, he's gone across that left hand side. Pickford has come out to try and tussle for the ball. McTominay ended up on the floor and felt that he'd been fouled by the goalkeeper. Referee didn't feel that was the case, so players gone on. United have won it back on the halfway line, out on the right hand side now, and it's worked infield towards Pogba. He's got a lot of space, a lot of time on the ball, and he simply just rolls it in towards a teammate in Martial, who helps it further wide to the left hand side with Pereira, and it comes back to Martial, shot in at goal. Pickford down to his right hand side, can comfortably fall on top of it.
First shot on target, 85 minutes. Not a bad strike. And Pickford makes it look fairly comfortable with a good save. We're just looking at what happened at the edge of the area, and McTominay's got to be a bit stronger than that, I think.
Yeah, he was trying to block off Pickford, and Pickford wasn't having any of it. In the end, McTominay ends up on the deck, and Pickford kept his feet and carried on through. And the play has gone further down the field now, with De Gea picking up a loose ball. 15 attempts for Everton today, 7 for the Red Devils. As John said, that one most recently was their first on target.
At Goodison, we've just seen the first effort on target from Manchester United. Martial's shot at goal was decent, but Pickford made it look fairly mundane. At times today we see Manchester United seemingly not caring when Everton have driven forward, those midfielders just jogging back as if they didn't care. Real poor performance today, and I'm sure that the media is going to pick the bones out of it. They've not had much going forward. They've looked badly disorganised, and at no point have they ever really looked like they were going to get a goal back in the game. Shocking stuff really for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United, but showing no signs of recovery at Goodison.
United have got it at the back at the moment. That's only down to a poor pass from Everton, though. It's work between Lindelof and Smalling, and out to Pogba on the left. Dropping in almost as a left back at the moment, the World Cup winner. He's going to move it on forward out towards the left hand side. Instead, Digne might get man of the match. It appears that it's gone to Gylfi Sigurdsson instead. He's also played a pretty key role today. Got himself a goal too. I don't think there was much between those two. Obviously Digne with the throw-ins, and Sigurdsson with the dead ball situations, the free kicks and corner kicks. Could have maybe had a couple of goals to his name today, just the one, but he's a player that has scored plenty against United in the past and has been key for them today.
Yeah, I mean, I just keep thinking, what's he going to do this season? But in actual fact, he's scored more goals this season than ever before in the Premier League. You've got to give him credit for that. Maybe he's just settling into the team. Always shows his worth. Today particularly, I thought he's passed the ball really intelligently. Saw that little flick ball through, didn't we, for Theo Walcott when he came on. Yeah, he's just run the show today. Intelligence and that ability to finish as well. Not bad.
On the left-hand side, United with Pereira. Ball in field is poor. Easily read there by the midfielder Schneidlin. He couldn't control it, so United have it back again with Pogba. Doesn't really know what to do with it in this situation. He had a man running away from him on the right hand side in Young. It does eventually go to Young after he stopped his run, cut back and lost any sort of momentum that was building in the attack. Doesn't seem to be a great deal of motivation for United right now. They've had the stuffing knocked out of them. That's understandable at 4-0 down, but at least one would give those fans something to cheer about. Jagielka has just put one into touch, and I think it's gone for a throw. Seemed to bounce off the corner flag and out for a throw rather than the other side that United may well have favoured, and a corner. So Young will take it into the chest of Pogba, tries to turn away from goal, gets a bit of luck as the ball is flicked towards a teammate. Matic switches it back across the halfway line with Lindelof, and he's got space to run into. Might even fancy a pop. No, goes left hand side, and there is space here for Diogo Dalot to try and get a cross in. He cuts it back towards Pereira. Cross comes in towards the far post. Everton managed to head away, and then it's launched downfield. Calvert-Lewin will go and chase, but Smalling deals with that one well. Calm under pressure. Little flick header out towards the left hand side. United actually playing slightly better at the moment than we've seen in most of this game, but Everton probably happy for them to have the ball. Diogo Dalot goes back towards the edge of the box with Pereira, who's strong, brushes aside Kurt Zouma and just doesn't really do much when he gets towards the edge of the box. Loses the ball but wins it back, and Everton are able to get enough bodies in the way to win it themselves. That's good work from Calvert-Lewin under pressure, and the ball was caught under his feet. Now he's got Walcott breaking down the right hand side. I think Walcott wanted it to feet, but Calvert-Lewin says no, you've got plenty of running left in those legs, get on after it. And is that going to be a free kick?
Should be. Terrible challenge from Lindelof. Should have been jockeying there. Just shoves him in the back. Frustration that. And Theo Walcott doesn't mind that. Silly foul to give away, presenting an opportunity for goal number 5.
4 minutes of additional time we're going to have at the end of this game. We're 40 seconds into that. Everton won't be in a great rush to get on with this. Those Everton fans have enjoyed themselves today in the sunshine. I'm sure they'll enjoy the rest of the afternoon as well. plenty more football to come on this service as well. Arsenal host Crystal Palace and Cardiff host Liverpool, both of those 4 p.m. kickoffs. Everton will be hoping it'll be the dream day and that they get a win and that their cross-city rivals fall to defeat against Cardiff. Could have ramifications at the top and bottom of the table. I also expect Liverpool to come through it pretty comfortably. Arsenal likewise have been fantastic on home soil and should be able to find a way past Crystal Palace. They don't have too much to play for now. They seem to be clear of relegation. Everton going up to 7th place off the back of this one, though, boosting their chances of finding a way into Europe. I think not fancying really Watford to beat Manchester City in that FA Cup final, so 7th place will give them that route into the Europa League and has to be classed as a successful season for Marco Silva if he manages to get Everton in Europe.
Yeah, that's right. So, they'll be hopeful. Results like this don't hurt either. You know, when you think about it, you think about the campaign. You know, as a fan, you think, oh yeah, at the back end, incredible victory over Man United. Maybe we're going in the right direction. And then the other thing is, Silva's saying to the players he wants to get, look, we're going to play in Europe.
Yeah.
Do you see us beat Man United? We were brilliant, you know. That's where we're heading. That's the direction we're going in. Yeah, it certainly doesn't hurt.
Calvert-Lewin has got the ball for Everton down by the corner flag. Ashley Young all over him. Just about kept it legal, I think. Coleman is down on a knee at the moment. Is he clutching his shoulder? I think he's going to be alright. He's trying to make a big deal about it, it seems, towards the officials, that he was fouled in some way. The referee would have said, well, you had advantage, played on with that and possession, there's no need to stop it and pull it back. And they've got this throw as a result of it, down by the corner flag left hand side. Bernard waiting for options to show. Eventually Sigurdsson comes out, rolls it back to Bernard. Cross is blocked and that'll be an Everton corner, and into the final minute of additional time they're going to end on the front foot, sending out a real message to their rivals in the division. United need to go back to the drawing boards if they've been torn apart by Everton today. You fear what's going to happen when they take on a Manchester City side going for the title in midweek, fresh off the back of their frustration in the Champions League and wanting to make sure that they don't see another trophy slip away from their grasp at the home of their rivals. So another throw in for Everton, and this one winding down now. It's a 4-0 triumph for the Toffees. Job well done. And I think this throw has gone back towards the halfway line. Everton happy just to reset and work it across towards Michael Keane. Head up, doesn't see much movement further down the field. Goes out to Zuma on the right hand side. That's how they've reshuffled since the injury to Digne. Zuma on this right hand side. Coleman went to the left. Obviously a bit more comfortable for Zuma. Coleman more adaptable on that opposite side. And we're over the 4 minutes. Surely the referee should be blowing his whistle now. Extra time isn't going to matter at all with the scoreline the way it is. Paul Tierney with one last glance at the watch as the ball goes in field. So Everton, comfortable winners. They take advantage of a wounded United. It's finished Everton 4, Manchester United 0.
At Goodison, full-time score 4-0. Everton too good for Manchester United. Made a good.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent